Now, bad policy and governance have been flagged as among the reasons for the country's poor economic growth. This has resulted in decreased investment in infrastructure and the emigration of many skilled professionals seeking greener pastures abroad. Let's discuss this further now with local government expert Miyelani Holeni. Miyelani, good afternoon, and thank you very much for your time. I mean, there's a number of factors. We are in a very complex situation, or a situation that with many complex challenges, but weak leadership, especially at the local level, is viewed as one of the key contributing factors to where we are when it comes to the development of our infrastructure and also investment in our infrastructure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we can go back in time and look at the difficulties that we've gone through as a country. We also understand that the global markets are also at play. We also know that, our country as well, we are a victim of an economy which is not growing. So all of those factors compounded, with the fact that we still have business and consumer confidence low. So all of those issues compounded end up in a position where we are not able to attract new investments, or at least the investments that are flowing into the country are temporary and are quickly moving out into other emerging markets, and we're not competing well for the investment that should be coming into the country. So the issue here is that what then happens to the institutions that are hungry for cash as well as injection of investment into their shores.
Yeah, and when you're in that situation, sometimes if you're a professional involved in that area, you'd see no hope for yourself and you look elsewhere, and now we lose skills. We have been losing much needed skills, town planners, engineers at the local level for quite some time now, and we're not training enough.
So I think the matter that it will sound like a repetition is that local government has not managed, despite the number of years that it has been enacted, to build capability. And capability is three key things: having a strategy that is going to weather the storms as well as to implement the programs, having the right kind of leadership that will lead the institutions within through the different turmoils, and also the service delivery aspect. So that capability is one that would reside in all of those skills that are required within local government. Yes, the flight of skills is a major issue. And in the first instance, local government was only beginning to attract the right kind of skills that are required. And I think we must broaden it to the entire country as well, because we're not only losing skills at local government levels, but across the sectors with people choosing to emigrate as well. So that we have a compounded issue that causes the investments and the management of infrastructure budgets that are there not to be managed properly. Some of the policies, as you highlighted in the beginning, are not assisting the country to be able to move forward. We have the issue of red tape, which needs to be addressed. And it's a swan song now that the economy, the structural impediments in our economy are quite high and prevent new investment from flourishing or coming into the country.
Yeah, Miyelani, just like you said earlier, just sounding like a stuck record. The Auditor General, year in and year out, has pointed out the issues of poor governance, financial management, lack of proper controls and capabilities in local government. But year in and year out, those are flagged. But seemingly it does not look like we are hearing that office and taking action to fix things. Where are we struggling the most? Why are we seemingly stuck in local government?
We're struggling with taking accountability, and certainly I think your accountability would come from the leadership which has been elected within the municipality. It would also come from the accounting officer, who must make sure that the officials reporting to him or her are held to account for all of the things that are going wrong, as well as the things that are going right. So in this case, we have an accountability ecosystem, of which the AG has also done very well in terms of sketching the framework. I think the issue here is, how do we get the people who are qualified? How do we get people who are experienced? and people who would understand the ramification of going down a path which is counter the legislation. But also you are looking for a crop of administrators who are willing to take risks within of course, the bounds of the legislation. So the issue here is that the enforcement of the legislation, the enforcement of the regulations that are in place as well, is one that perhaps is not being taken seriously. Within the various layers of government, there are oversight committees, which are the ones that should be bringing to bear that voice of the consumer, such that the consumer or the customer is able to be protected, as well as to protect the institution. So the issue here is accountability, which we need to focus on even more. We know that the AG has powers to even lay criminal cases against people who are blatantly ignoring the stipulations or committing fraud on all of those things. So perhaps it's time that the AG also starts to use those powers more widely, so that we start to drive a culture. And the second thing, of course, is the culture that is growing there of apathy, of hopelessness, and so on. So those are areas that we need to be working on, including attracting the professional skills that are so required across the different layers of government, and managing key institutions such as state-owned entities as well, as we've seen in the past that state-owned entities as well require stringent management.
Thank you very much, Miyelani Holeni, a local government expert, just giving us some of your views as we continue our focus here on the degradation of capacity and ability across the board, especially local government, that's affecting, of course, our potential for growing.